I, 36F, need help dealing with an impossible situation with my partner Rob, 39M, family and his ex. I met Rob at a mutual friend's wedding 2 years ago. The connection was instant and natural. He had recently ended a long-term relationship 3 months before meeting me, but we took things slow at first to make sure we were both ready. Over time, our relationship grew stronger and now we are actively trying for a baby and planning our future together. Everything seemed perfect until his ex Simone, 46F, found out about us through social media. Rob had been with Simone for 12 years but they never married. They went through a terrible loss 8 years ago when Simone had a stillbirth at 7 months. It was devastating for both of them but especially Simone, who later found out she could not have more children. Rob supported her through everything but eventually realized they had grown apart. He told me he stayed longer than he should have out of guilt and obligation but finally ended things when he accepted they were both unhappy. His family, especially his sisters Amy, 35F, and Kate, 37F, were extremely close to Simone. Amy and Kate are both married to women, Lisa, 34F, and Emma, 36F, respectively. All 4 of them treated Simone like another sister and she was part of their tight group for years. I understood this history and never expected them to cut Simone out of their lives completely. The problem started about 6 months into our relationship. Simone suddenly started calling Rob constantly with random emergencies. She needed help fixing her car, moving furniture, dealing with plumbing issues, things she never contacted him about during the first months after their breakup. Rob initially helped out of politeness but soon realized she was creating excuses to see him. He started declining her calls, which made her more aggressive. She would show up at his workplace or his sister's houses when she knew he would be there. Eventually Rob had to block her number. After Rob blocked her, Simone focused on maintaining her grip on his family instead. She began posting multiple times a day on social media about her special bond with his sisters and their wives. She shares old photos with his mom Jane, 65F, captioned with things like "Forever family and blood doesn't make a family, love does." She makes pointed comments about being the daughter Jane never had, knowing Jane lost her only daughter to cancer years ago. The sisters regularly go on weekend trips and have girls' nights with Simone. I am never invited to any of these events. At first I told myself it was because they needed time with Simone since she was grieving the end of her relationship. But 2 years have passed and nothing has changed. They post constant photos of their outings, always tagging Simone as their eternal sister. 2 months ago, Kate was having a birthday party at her house. Rob was excited because it was the first family event we were both specifically invited to. I was nervous about seeing Simone but wanted to try for Rob. He suggested talking to Simone beforehand to avoid any drama. That backfired terribly. Simone told Rob I better not show my face as they were her family and she had known them longer. She said she would make sure I felt unwelcome if I attended. I told Rob I did not feel comfortable going after her threats. He was upset and told Simone to stay away from future family events. The next morning my social media was flooded with photos from the party. Simone was seated at the main table with Rob's parents and sisters while we missed the celebration. She kept sharing pictures of her special seat that was supposedly always reserved for her at family functions. Rob called her again and firmly told her to back off as they were not her family anymore. She then messaged me directly saying she will always be number one and I was just a temporary replacement. After 2 years of staying quiet, I finally snapped and told her she was pathetically hanging on to a man who did not want her anymore. 3 days ago Amy reached out inviting me to their monthly girls' night. I was surprised but hopeful that maybe things were changing. She never followed up with details though. Later that night I saw Simone's posts about their amazing evening together. Photos of them walking to Kate's house for drinks, making plans for their next outing, inside jokes about their special sister bond. The worst part was realizing Simone had blocked me after our argument but deliberately unblocked me just so I could see these posts about the night I was excluded from. When I talked to Kate about feeling targeted by Simone, she admitted they all knew Simone was making digs at me but did nothing to stop it. Simone keeps using her loss from 8 years ago to maintain her hold on the family. She tells them they are all she has left and guilt trips them about abandoning her in her grief. I also lost twins in my previous relationship but never used that to manipulate my ex's family or demand they choose me over his new partner. Simone still has photos of Rob displayed in her house and tells people they are on a break and will reconcile. Rob is wonderful and fully supports me. He never initiates contact with Simone and only deals with her when I bring up feeling hurt by something she did. But I am at my breaking point after 2 years of constant exclusion and disrespect from his family. They clearly prefer having Simone around despite knowing how much it hurts both Rob and me. I do not know how to handle this situation anymore. Update 1: The situation has gotten so much worse since my last post. After seeing all your supportive comments, Rob decided to confront his family directly about their behavior. He called a family meeting at his parents' house to address the constant exclusion and their choice to prioritize Simone over our relationship. I stayed home to avoid drama, but what happened next left me speechless. His sisters Amy and Kate immediately got defensive. They accused me of trying to control Rob and isolate him from his family. According to them, I was being dramatic and making everything about myself. Emma joined in saying Simone was still grieving her loss and I was being selfish for not understanding their need to support her. Lisa surprisingly stayed quiet during most of this. Rob tried explaining how their actions were hurting both of us, but they would not listen. Kate actually had the nerve to say Simone had earned her place in the family through 12 years of dedication while I was just the new girlfriend trying to erase their history. She brought up how Simone had nursed their mom through breast cancer 5 years ago and was there when their sister died. Rob reminded them that he was the one who actually took care of their mom. Simone just posted about it on social media for attention. The argument got heated when Amy revealed they had invited Simone to their mom's upcoming birthday dinner. Jane had apparently told them both Simone and I were welcome, but we needed to behave ourselves. Rob immediately refused to attend if Simone was going to be there. This led to a huge fight with his sisters, calling him ungrateful and accusing him of choosing me over family. They said Simone had never missed a family event in 12 years while I was just being difficult after 2 years. Yesterday was the birthday dinner. Despite Rob's objections, we decided to go for his mom's sake. But Simone had already planned her moves. She showed up an hour early and took my usual seat next to Rob at the family table. This might sound petty, but seating has always been important at their family events. Rob and I always sit together while his sisters sit with their wives. When we arrived and saw Simone in my spot, Rob politely asked her to move. She refused, saying that had always been her seat for the past 12 years and she was not going to change family tradition for me. Rob got angry and told her to stop playing games. Simone started crying, saying she just wanted things to be like they used to be. Jane stepped in and asked us to just sit somewhere else to keep the peace. That was the last straw for Rob. He said he was done watching his family enable Simone's manipulative behavior and we left. They all started calling after us, saying we were ruining Jane's birthday. Kate even followed us to the parking lot accusing me of turning Rob against his family. An hour after we got home, Simone posted a long emotional message on social media about how much she missed her mother-in-law and the family that had always been there for her. She wrote about all their special memories together and tagged everyone except us. His sisters and mom all commented with heart emojis and messages of support. Later that night, I got a surprising call from Lisa. She had been quiet during the family confrontation because she had discovered something disturbing. According to her, Simone had been spreading lies about us to the family for months. She told them Rob still met her secretly and said he regretted leaving her. She claimed he only stayed with me because he felt trapped after I got too serious too quickly. The worst part was what she said about me. She told them I had mocked her loss and made cruel comments about her inability to have more children. She said I bragged about being able to give Rob the family she never could. Lisa found all this hard to believe, but the rest of the family accepted Simone's lies without question. When Rob tried telling them Simone was lying, they accused him of trying to cover up his mistakes. I'm completely shocked at how easily his family believed these horrible lies without even asking us if they were true. Rob is absolutely furious. He has blocked them all and says he needs time away from their toxic behavior. Jane keeps sending guilt-tripping messages about how he is hurting the family, but he deletes them without reading. Simone seems delighted about destroying Rob's relationship with his family. She posts daily about spending time with his sisters and their unconditional love for her. The situation feels completely hopeless now. His family chose to believe malicious lies from his ex over their own son and brother. I do not know how we can ever fix this mess. Update 2: I have been struggling to write this update because so much has happened. After the birthday dinner disaster, Rob and I tried to move forward with our lives without his family. It was hard for him, but we were managing. Then last week everything changed when the truth finally came out. Emma made a shocking discovery during their monthly girls' night at Simone's house. Simone had gone to the bathroom, leaving her phone unlocked on the coffee table. Emma noticed a message notification pop up with my name. She knew Simone had blocked me months ago, so this seemed strange. When she checked the message thread, she found something disturbing. Simone had been using a photo editing app to create fake conversations between us. The edited screenshots made it look like I was constantly harassing Simone. She had manipulated our few real interactions to completely change their meaning. Remember when I told her to stop hanging around someone who did not want her? In her edited version, I was taunting her about being barren and saying Rob left her because she could not give him children. She even created fake messages where I supposedly bragged about getting pregnant soon and told her she would never experience the joy of motherhood. Emma scrolled through more fake conversations, finding dozens of edited screenshots. Simone had carefully built a trail of evidence showing me as a cruel bully who mocked her loss and flaunted my ability to have children. She used these fake messages to convince the family I was a horrible person who was trying to erase her from their lives. No wonder they all turned against us so quickly. The most shocking part was finding messages between Simone and Jane from 6 months ago. Simone had sent the fake screenshots to Jane first, knowing she would be most hurt by the supposed comments about motherhood. She manipulated Jane's grief over losing her daughter by positioning herself as another victim of cruel treatment. Jane fell for it completely and helped convince everyone else the screenshots were real. Emma felt sick realizing how they had all been fooled. She took photos of the real unedited messages and the editing app on Simone's phone as proof. When Simone returned, Emma made an excuse to leave early. She went straight to Rob and confessed everything. She showed us the evidence of Simone's manipulation and broke down crying while apologizing for believing the lies. Rob immediately called his sisters to tell them the truth. At first they were skeptical, but Emma's photos of the editing app and original messages were undeniable proof. Kate and Amy were horrified realizing how Simone had played them all. They came over that night crying and begging for forgiveness. They finally saw how Simone had systematically manipulated them using their love and loyalty against us. The hardest revelation came when Rob confronted his mom. Instead of being shocked by Simone's deception, Jane admitted she had suspected the screenshots were fake months ago. She found inconsistencies in the dates and writing style but chose to ignore them. She confessed she preferred having Simone around because she reminded her of Rachel, her daughter who died of cancer. Simone had gradually taken Rachel's place in family traditions and Jane could not bear to lose another daughter. Rob was devastated learning his mother had chosen to believe lies about him and me because she wanted to hold on to Simone as a replacement for Rachel. He told Jane she had betrayed him by choosing her own comfort over his happiness. Jane tried explaining she was still grieving Rachel, but Rob said that did not excuse allowing Simone to destroy his relationship with his family. Simone still refuses to admit what she did even with the proof exposed. She keeps playing victim and telling everyone we faked the evidence to frame her. His sisters have cut contact with her, but some extended family members still believe her side. She somehow spun the story to make it seem like we conspired with Emma to create fake proof of her lies. Rob says he needs time away from his family to process their betrayal. His sisters understand, but it still hurts them. They realize they chose Simone over their own brother because it was easier than admitting she was manipulating them. The family dynamic feels broken beyond repair now. Even with the truth exposed, the damage Simone caused will take a long time to heal if it ever does. Update 3. This will be my final update. A lot has changed in the past 6 months. After everything that happened with Simone and his family, Rob and I decided we needed a fresh start. We moved to a different city about 3 hours away from his family. The distance has given us peace and space to heal. His family tried reaching out multiple times after we moved. His sister sent long apology messages explaining how sorry they were for believing Simone over us. They said they missed their brother and wanted to make things right. Kate even drove to our new city twice trying to talk to Rob, but he was not ready. The betrayal was still too fresh. Emma and Lisa also tried maintaining contact. They sent regular updates about finally cutting Simone out of their lives completely. Apparently Simone had a meltdown when the sisters stopped inviting her to family events. She started showing up uninvited and crying about being abandoned. When that did not work, she began spreading new lies about Rob having an affair with Emma before our relationship started. That was the final straw for everyone who still believed her. The situation with Jane got more complicated when she learned I was pregnant with twins. We had not told any family members, but she found out through mutual friends. She started sending daily messages about wanting to be part of her grandchildren's lives. She wrote long emails about regretting her choices and begging for another chance to be a proper mother and grandmother. Rob finally responded telling her she lost the privilege of being a grandmother when she chose Simone over her own son. He said she had plenty of chances to support our relationship but decided protecting Simone was more important than his happiness. Jane keeps sending emotional messages saying she was blinded by grief over Rachel but understands her mistake now. Rob deletes them all without reading. The hardest part for Rob was seeing his family continue their usual traditions without us. Despite cutting contact with Simone, they still post about their regular dinners and celebrations. Sometimes relatives share photos tagging us, hoping to make Rob feel guilty about missing family events. He had to block most of them to avoid constant reminders of what he lost. I am now 5 months pregnant with twin boys. Starting our own family has helped Rob focus on the future instead of dwelling on his family's betrayal. We have created a peaceful life here away from all the drama. Rob says he feels lighter without the constant pressure to forgive Simone for his family's sake. He has no regrets about maintaining distance from them even though they keep trying to reconnect. Simone still shows up at some family events according to social media. Even after being exposed, she managed to maintain connections with extended family members who either believe her lies or just prefer avoiding conflict. She posts vague messages about forgiveness and healing that are clearly aimed at making Rob look unforgiving. Rob and I have both blocked Simone and most of his family on everything. We focus on preparing for our babies and building relationships with friends who have become like family to us. Sometimes walking away is better than trying to fix relationships with people who repeatedly chose someone else over you. Life is peaceful now without their constant drama and manipulation. Rob says he has learned that sharing DNA does not obligate you to keep toxic people in your life. We are excited to welcome our boys into a home filled with love and truth instead of lies and betrayal. Thank you everyone for your support throughout this journey. Your comments helped us realize we were not wrong for protecting our relationship from Simone's manipulation. We are finally happy and at peace with our decisions.